Okay, welcome. I think we've got through all these hiccups. I hope we have. Welcome to our SIG open house, the Shared Interest Open House. I'm Monica Sinclair. For my sins, I am one of the coordinators of the Shared Interest groups. As you can see from my background, it's a bit like running a six-ring circus. At least that's what it feels like some days. And what I really want to do, because we've got a great turnout this afternoon and a lot of SIGs to get through, just give you an outline of how this is going to work. Going to ask all the SIG leaders, the people who lead the individual SIGs, to do a really brief description of their SIG, maybe 1 or 2 minutes each, otherwise we'll be here till bedtime. And then if you have questions, if you want more details, we're going to use something called breakout rooms. And before we get to that point in the meeting, the OLLI office, either Carol or Ray, will describe to you how the breakout rooms are going to work and how you get to them and how you use them. I'm not going to do it now because it's probably better to do as we get closer to that point of the meeting. But I think you'll find it. We've done it in the past. I don't know if any of you were at the SIG open house we did last year, but it worked really well. It allows you to go off to a separate meeting where you can get more information about the individual SIG that you're interested in. And you can go to multiple meeting rooms as well. We can move you, or you can move yourself from one meeting room to another. So I think it'll work really well. So like I said, my name is Monica Sinclair. There are a couple of other people I would like to introduce, and it's hard to see them on this screen, but somewhere on this screen is Bruce Cohen, who is my partner in crime as a SIG leader, and he is going to be the enforcer this evening. He will start ringing bells and getting rude to you if you go over more than a minute or two in the description of your SIG. Like I said, because there's so many SIGs, just plain math will tell you that if you talk more than 2 minutes, we're going to be here an hour and a half just listening to SIG descriptions, which doesn't sound like a good idea for anybody. So the other people I'd like to introduce are our wonderful OLLI support team. Carol Allman Morton, who is our executive director and is an expert on breakout rooms. So she is going to be probably leading us through that process. And Ray Langsdale, who is the voice you hear on the phone every time you call the OLLI office, and without whom we would not be here, I promise you. So other than that, I think I'm going to ask Bruce to start off with the descriptions of the 2 SIGs that he runs, so that you'll get a sense of how the introductions are going to work, and we'll go from there. So Bruce, if you'd like to introduce your SIG.
Yeah, hi everybody. Just quickly, I think SIGs are the magic component of OLLI. I think they're just great, and they get to know people personally. I put my my email address as my name, so if anybody has any questions about the 2 SIGs I'm going to talk about or anything else, politics, sports, whatever, send me an email. I run is the wrong word. I organize 2 SIGs. One is a downhill skiing SIG. It's mostly we meet once early in the season, like probably right after Thanksgiving on a Zoom. And then after that, everybody gets an email list of who's on the list, and we tend to, pair up and go ski. Last year, the group ended up skiing as a group, maybe 7 or 8 of us on Friday mornings at Butternut, but lots of people pair up and just connect and ski. So any questions, send me an email. The other club I organize is the Mystery, Mayhem, and Murder Book Club. At about this time of year, we pick a dozen books for the next year. We read 1 a month, and we get together on Monday afternoons and we discuss those books. And about half the group is remote, so we're on Zoom, and we'll probably stay on Zoom. And it's a good hour and a half discussion. Again, any questions, send me an email. I'll be happy to answer them pretty responsively.
Or they can go to your breakout room.
Or they can they can do both.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, thank you, Bruce. I have a couple of items here. We have a SIG called Creative Nonfiction Writing, run by Pam Pesco-Solido. She is traveling this week and couldn't attend, but she sent me a nice 3-line sentence of describing her SIG, and I thought I would read that out to you. And it says, our creative nonfiction SIG meets once a month, the second Tuesdays at 9:30. We have a variety of interests and projects, but all participants are interested in listening to, sharing with, and learning from others in the group. So if you are interested in creative nonfiction writing, I suggest you contact Pam. There's a link to her email if you go to the SIG page on the OLLI website and look under creative nonfiction writing. And then Ray, through the miracle of technology, is going to play us a little recording from another SIG leader who is also traveling this week, Linda Goff, who runs a paper crafting SIG. And Ray, when you're ready, go ahead. Thank you.
Hi, friends. This is Linda Goff, and I am the leader for the paper crafting SIG. And we meet on the third Thursday of the month from 10:30 to 11:30, and or at 4:15 to 5:15 to allow for our West Coast or Hawaii friends to join in. The paper crafting is an opportunity for you to bring out your craft supplies that you have and to learn new technique or a new card design or a new box or something innovative for that month. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great hobby. For those of you who are not familiar with crafting, we are going to be offering a Basics 101 class in the winter. And that's where you'll have the supplies, you'll gain the supplies and be able to learn the hobby of stamping and card making. So that's coming up for the winter session. And I just wanted to welcome you. I'm not here, I'm traveling. So I just wanted to be sure to say hello and to wish that more people will join in the SIG group. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ray. And again, because Lynn isn't here, there won't be a breakout. Linda isn't here, there won't be a breakout room for the paper crafting, but there is a link to her email on the SIG webpage in the OLLI website. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's, so now we're just going to go around the room and have you all introduce your SIGs in person. And again, once again, like I said, 1 or 2 minutes, please. It's really important. And since I can't see everybody, we've got 3 pages. I'm going to go down my list of SIGs, and hopefully everybody is here at this point. So I'm going to start with contemporary gender roles. And I think, Ellen, you are going to be introducing that SIG, if I'm correct.
You are correct, Monica. Hi, everybody. My name is Ellen Poirier, and I am the co-chair of OLLI's Contemporary Gender Roles SIG. And I co-host with Deborah Kane, who will be leading the discussion in the breakout room and telling you more about what will be upcoming. But in the short term, just to let you know, we discuss the various changes in women's roles, men's roles, in the family, as well as in the workplace, as well as transgender roles, gay and lesbian roles, anything that has to do with the LGBTQ community. And the group has grown from just 3 people to a couple of dozen. We just recently had 28 people sign up for the session we had yesterday. And we're always interested in having more men. At this point, it's mostly women who have joined. For what reason, I don't know. In any case, what members do is they volunteer to lead a discussion on a topic of their choice. And sometimes we have outside speakers, as we did yesterday. We had an author talk to us about her book called Controlling Women, What We Do Now to Protect Reproductive Freedom. And we would love to have you join us. Our SIG meets the third Wednesday of the month from, the third Wednesday of the month from 2 to 4 p.m. And if you have any questions, again, we'd love to discuss them in the breakout room. And if not, you have my email address on our SIG page on the OLLI website.
Thank you. Perfect. That's great. All right, moving right along. The next one I have on my list is a relatively new SIG, the cross-country ski group. And Anne, are you yes, there you are. If you'd like to unmute yourself and talk a little bit about your SIG.
Okay, I'm on mute. Hi, everybody. My name is Ann Crowett. I am new to this, but I am not new to cross-country skiing. I am an advanced beginner. I get better as the season goes by. I would like to meet people who are interested in going cross-country. We don't necessarily have a particular time or day to meet yet. That would involve the breakout room. And this SIG also is dependent on the conditions of snow. So there are several cross-country location, I guess, resort area types that we could meet at. And we could also meet in someone's very large estate backyard. So that would all be up to the people who sign up and come to the breakout room. I look forward to also perhaps doing snowshoeing, but for people who don't want to do cross-country skiing. From what I was told, I would not be there at every meeting. But as Bruce had pointed out, people find their own level and then sort of break out within the larger group. So we have a lot to discuss. And I'm not sure where we would meet in person. I would like to meet in person if possible beforehand, but definitely to get an idea of who wants to do what and at what level you consider yourself. So thank you. See you soon.
Thank you, Anne. That's great. That's great. All right. Foreign language films or foreign films. Chris Guidet, would you like to unmute yourself and tell us where we are with foreign films? I can't see you. Chris, are you there? Hello, Chris? Chris Cadet?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Right, thanks.
Actually, it's foreign film, a foreign language film
Okay.
SIG, and that's an important distinction because we often get recommendations for movies that were made outside the U.S. but that are in English, and those don't count. We'll have to see those somewhere else. Our plan is to, what we've been doing in the past is showing one movie a month. Until COVID, we had to find various venues and prosceniums to show them. There's some of us who prefer seeing these films on Zoom. No, I'm not one of them, but there are many who prefer that. And there's some who prefer seeing them in a theater. So we've struck a balance. We're going to alternate. 1 month, the movie will be on Zoom, and the next month, the movie will be on probably at the Berkshire Museum, which I understand has delayed its plans to refurbish the auditorium for about a year or so. So we'll be fine with that. We have a small steering committee of people who pick the films. It includes myself, Peter Blum, past president of OLLI, and Bob Fleischner, who is a movie scholar of sorts. But we would welcome many, many more. And being on the steering committee gives you a much stronger say in what we show. Plus, you get to help pick the movie. In other words, actually physically locate the movie so that we can show it. Again, that's once a month. We will announce the dates and the films on our page on the SIG larger page shortly.
And
So
I'm guessing the OLLI office will send out an email when this happens as well, because you have a lot of people that like to participate in the foreign language.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We send an event announcement of the coming film, the time and place where it will be shown. And if it's going to be online, of course, we'll get links. Now, oh, this is an important point. You not only have to be a member in good standing to participate, but you have to not tape or record or in any other way enhance your acquisition of this film, except just watch it and enjoy it. Now, the reason for that is that there are very strict copyright laws, and OLLI is allowed to show these movies to fairly large audiences, large being 80 to 100, with a proviso that we are an educational institution and these films are shown for educational purposes. You can only show them once. Sometimes people ask us to record the film so they can see it later. No can do. So there you have the foreign language.
Thank you. And I know that you'll have more people interested in your breakout room, and you can talk about maybe some of the films you've got coming up and things like that. That would be great. Thank you, Chris. All right, and now the next SIG is one that's near and dear to my heart because I started it, which is a French conversation SIG, and I'm going to ask Philippe Jean-Jean, who's obviously a much better French accent than I do, to tell us about the French SIG, OLLI French SIG.
Thank you. Yes, so this is Philippe. I am a French native. I guess it's difficult to hide. And I will be participating in the French conversation SIG. And I use participating and not leading because I think that in a conversation, everybody has an equal say. So we will have an initial Zoom meeting where we will decide what we are going to do. That will be a very democratic SIG. And we will strive to meet once a month, either in Zoom, and when the weather is nice, we will, and if the distances permit it, we will try to meet in person somewhere in the Berkshire. We try to find a place that is convenient to everybody and a time that is convenient to everybody. And the goal of the meeting will be to discuss, to talk, and don't worry, it's open to every level. And we will have fun. So that's the main thing. Where there will be no quiz, and there will be no punishment if people don't show up or if people don't speak French well enough. So welcome everybody.
Perfect. Thank you. That's great. All right, moving right along. The next one on my list, because as you might have been able to tell, I am doing this alphabetically. Genealogy. And Lisa, if you could unmute yourself and then tell us about your genealogy SIG, that would be great.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here tonight and tell you all about our genealogy SIG. It's actually been running for 1 year now. We meet, I know, it's exciting, right? We meet the third Wednesday of each month from 10 in the morning till about 11:30. And basically what our group does is we talk about family histories. We discover some ways to overcome brick walls as we research our families, and we learn new places that are available to us to look. We talk about the standards of genealogy research and how to live by them and follow the rules, kind of all kinds of exciting stuff about genealogy. So if you're a beginner, we can work with you on how to get you up to speed to get you started. Or if you're just stuck on something, we can help you get over that wall. And everybody participates in the group. Everybody has really good information to share. So yeah, come join us.
Thank you, Lisa. That's great. And again, you will be in a breakout room if anybody wants to know more about your SIG in a little bit. All right, next one on my list is the Gotta Reads New York Bestsellers Club. And Sheila, I know you're here because I think I saw you get let in, but if you could unmute yourself and tell us about your book club.
Well, my book club is for people who love reading. And I don't like to brag, but we're the best looking and smartest of all the people in OLLI. So we have a great time. And nobody dominates. Nobody is a bully. Everybody gets to speak, as Philip said before, or Philippe said before. Everybody has something to say, and damn, it's fun. And we read all the best sellers.
I think that's a universal truth about OLLI members. Everybody has something
Yes,
to
we're
say.
so good
It's
looking.
a
and
good
smart.
point.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't talking about the good looking bit. I was talking about having something to say. Thank you, Sheila. Carolyn, do you want to talk to us about the happy needlers and hookers? You need to unmute yourself, Carolyn, please.
Okay, hi, I'm Carolyn Vanderwart, and we're the SIG, the Happy Needlers and Hookers, and which means the people who come, they do knitting, they do needlepoint, they do crocheting, they do felting, all types of crafts that you can do with yarn. And everybody does their own thing, and we also have a project that we're doing now. We're doing a blanket. Everybody's doing a 7-inch square, the same, and we're going to put it all together in the end. And the community center is going to donate this blanket or blankets to whoever needy in the community center, one of the children that comes there. So it's a very social group. It's we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of chit-chatting, and it's a good group. And if you'd like to join, just let us know and I'll get you on the mailing list. I hope you join.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. That's great. And I'm still waiting for some photographs from you, so to put on the website. So whenever you have them.
Okay.
All right, the next SIG on my list is another pretty new SIG. In fact, I think it's probably the newest of the SIGs we've got here at the moment, which is the history of music in the Berkshires, the Roadhouse era. I can't read my own writing. And Mark Rosenman, if you want to give us a little description of what that SIG is and where you are with it.
Thanks, Monica. Yes, we have a brand new SIG. We just had our second organizational call today. We have about 7 or 8 people so far and would like to have more. We're a little bit different from some of the other SIGs. We're really about an activity or a project where each person is going to take a work stream, and we're going to recover and communicate the glorious history of an important chapter of popular music in the Berkshires from about the 1960s or so to 1990s. There flourished a number of what are generally called roadhouses, the most famous of which is Woody's Roadhouse of Washington. And these were places, typically in relatively remote spots, where people went to listen to music and dance and drink and have a good time, and attracted a number of very important bands of the time, Bonnie Raitt, the Cars, many, many others, and really speaks to the incredible richness of music in the Berkshires and Western Massachusetts, and the social and the community aspects that this music had. So we think we're really on to an exciting idea. Everyone is going to have a say in what we produce, a podcast, maybe even if we can find a sugar daddy, a documentary film, because this is an important chapter of our local history that really needs to be captured and saved from the darkness. So that's our mission. We're going to really have a great time. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's exciting. I think you're getting some good support, so that's great. All right. Now, for another kind of music, and it's interesting that these two come right after each other and on my list. But next, Harriet is going to tell us about listening to chamber music, which is I'm in that SIG, so I have a soft spot for this one. So, Harriet, go ahead.
I'm Harriet Whetstone. I'm delighted to tell you about the Listening to Chamber Music SIG. We're now in our 2nd year of meeting together, and we've been meeting on Zoom, although one of these days we might meet in person. A week ahead of each of our once a month, first Monday at 1 meetings, someone suggests one or more of their favorite chamber music performances, and these are easily shared from online venues. And we all listen as much as we can before the meeting. And during the meeting, we have discussions about how and what and why the music draws us in, and our own individual thoughts related to listening and to chamber music. The discussions are completely different each time, and we would love to have you join us. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Mindfulness and meditation, which I should do but don't. Roberta, if you'd like to unmute yourself and tell us about your SIG.
Okay. Hi. We meet once a week on Zig. We're pretty new, going on a few months already, probably started sometime in the summer. I can't remember exactly where. And we practice meditation. It's rooted in a Buddhist practice. And we meet for an hour Mondays from noon to 1 o'clock and practice. We meditate, and it's a silent meditation. And there have been about, there's usually about 6 people, although a lot of people signed up, and there's a regular core that's been coming for the most part every week. And then there's other people that drop in and go. It's there are people with all levels of practice, some people that are very new to meditation, some people that have many years of practice. And mindfulness is the practice of basically returning again and again to the present moment, and simply noticing whatever arises without judgment, and noticing it without getting hooked into the story of what's coming up in your mind. The mind is a busy place, and very compelling. It can be, and we all have very creative minds and invent all kinds of stories. But that's not what's actually happening in the moment. What's actually happening in the moment. Sometimes it's quite boring. You're just sitting, and paying attention to your breath. So I have found it a very valuable practice in my life. If you register for the group, you only have to register once, and then you get a weekly email with a link, a weekly reminder with the link of the Zoom link. There's some hope that maybe at some point we might meet in person, but right now that's not happening. There hasn't been any instruction, but I will probably start a little bit of that, a little bit of teaching about the practice and the tradition in a month or so. And that's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Roberta. And let me see. Next one I've got is painting with Claudia. So Claudia, I want to unmute yourself and tell us about your painting SIG.
Yes, wonderful. We started the painting SIG several months ago, and we at first were not sure how many different kinds of painting folks we would be able to serve. But what we have learned is that perhaps the most dominant thing about painters is that they have learned to be good observers. So whether they have just started painting or have painted for their entire lives, they've learned to look carefully. And by looking carefully, we can help each other with our work. Many painters are painting from a photograph of a friend or relative or a child in their family. And others are painting out in the field. Once, several 100 years ago, they were able to put paint in a tube. We were then able to go out and paint en plein air. So some people do that, but we get together once a month, Mondays, the second Monday of the month right now, from 10 o'clock on. It's been a small group, so we usually stay together for about an hour. And we have a site called Cluster where we can load up the painting that we're working on. And if we have a reference for that, we'll put the reference in. Right now, for example, I'm painting my grandson based on a picture that he chose. And so I really need help in observing the littlest detail, and perhaps my tooth isn't long enough, or the earlobes are not at the same height, or he has a few little wrinkles because he's smiling so much. And noticing all the details of what you're trying to create. Maybe the shape of an apple. We help each other We learn to make very positive comments, encourage each other, share certain techniques, and have a lovely time doing it. So welcome. If you like to paint in any way, watercolors, gouache, oil, whatever, we'd love to have you join us.
And Claudia, you're meeting on Zoom at the moment, is that right?
I'm on Zoom, yes.
No, your SIG meets on
Oh,
Zoom.
sorry. Yes, the SIG. And part of that is because people are all over. For example, one of our members, too bad, is now in Florida, but she can join us. And I know other people have had people from Japan or Sweden, or so it's the remarkable nature of Zoom that people can be all over. And at some point, maybe people who are nearby to each other could meet as a small group and welcome the others on Zoom. But right now we're Zooming. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. No, that's great. Somebody asked in the chat for us to be more specific. So it's late in the list, but I'm asking at this point. The next one is play reading, and Barbara Waldinger, I think you are going to be talking about the play reading SIG.
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we meet on Fridays for 2 hours between 3 and 5, twice a month, and we're on Zoom. What we do is we take a play. We have a play selection committee. We choose a play that we all want to read, and we split it into 2. And the first time we do, let's say, Act 1, and the second time we do Act 2. And what we do is we read the person who is the discussion leader, which changes for each play, will do a little research on the play, talk about it, and then we read sections from the play, and then we analyze them. And we do this twice in the month. So between January and April, we are open to suggestions of plays, but between May and October, we usually read the plays that are in the local theaters, and then we arrange theater parties to go and see them. So winter, we're open choice, and the rest of the year depends on what's playing. We would love to have you join us. We are always seeking new members, people who love to read plays, to read from plays, and to discuss plays, and to lead discussions about plays. Again, on Zoom, Fridays from 3 to 5, twice a month. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. That sounds great. Absolutely. All right. The next on my list is Steffi Fletcher, and she's going to cover 2 SIGs because she leads 2 SIGs, one for poetry reading and one for poetry writing. So Steffi, if you could unmute yourself and tell us about your SIGs. There you are. Thank you.
Well, the poetry writing, unfortunately, is filled at the moment, but we have a waiting list. The poetry reading welcomes new members, and that group meets once a month on the first Thursday of each month from 6:30 to 8. And we choose a different poet to discuss at each meeting. And the whole group gets together to choose the poets. In the past, we have discussed Robert Frost, W.H. Auden, great poets. W.H. Auden, there was so much to discuss that we discussed them for 2 meetings. The way we run it is that one person is the leader of the discussion, and it is also their job. Think how modern I am. I don't say his or her, I say their. But it's to do background research on the poet and spend the beginning of the session giving the results of their research. Then the rest of the time, each person in the group has found a poem by that poet that they like and reads that poem, has sent the poem out ahead of time so that the whole group can think about it. And then that person reads the poem, and then that poem is discussed by the whole group. The next poet we are going to do is Amanda Gorman, the very young poet who read at Joe Biden's inauguration. And then, let's see, who else are we going to do? I'm drawing a blank, but we've got a whole list lined up. for the.
And you can tell people more about that in the breakout room. You'll have
Yes.
time to get your list together. That's great. Thank you, Steffi. And you're meeting on Zoom as well, is that correct?
We meet via Zoom, especially since some of our members are in other parts of the country.
Yeah, super. Okay, great. Thank you. We're getting close to the end. I think there's only one more to go, and that is another newish SIG, a tennis SIG. Lynn, if you'd like to tell us about your tennis SIG, that would be great.
Sure. We are a recreational tennis group, and we just got started this summer, so we're still trying to logistically figure out the best way for people to get together. But basically, we work off a list of people that have written down their levels and their contact information, and we communicate primarily through email. And the way it kind of worked out last summer was either myself or one of the members would email everyone on a particular day or time they were going to be at a particular court. We used the BCC courts a lot this summer. It averaged about once a week. And then we would, depending on who showed up and the skill levels that were involved, we either played a match and kept score, or we would just hit the ball back and forth and practice our skills. So we try to accommodate whatever levels show up. If you happen to be more accomplished than the rest of us, then my hope is that you'd be willing to help us out and give us a little instruction maybe, or just a little guidance on how we can do things better. We try to keep it fun, and we're out there to get some exercise and just get better. So hopefully you'll join us.
Thank you. That's great. This is terrific. We have gotten through all the SIGs in 45 minutes. I'm going to pat myself on the back and pat Bruce on the back and Ray and everybody else. So we're almost ready to go to the breakout rooms. Couple of housekeeping things before that. I should mention that in order to participate in a SIG, you do need to be an OLLI member in good standing. So if your OLLI membership is lapsing, go to the website, call Ray, renew your membership so that you can participate in these amazing SIGs. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is we have a number of new SIGs in the pipeline. There's always a certain amount of churn. Some SIGs reach the end of their natural life, some SIGs start up. The ones that I know of that are in the pipeline, there's a hiking SIG that'll probably start up next year. I mean, this isn't the time of year really to start a hiking group. I know there's a Scrabble group in the pipeline. Somebody talked to me this week about starting up a gardening SIG. So if you have a passion that you'd like to share with OLLI members, just contact me or contact the office, and